Welcome to the Stats on Stats Pod. Yeah.
Okay, hey girl, what's up? How you doing?
Where you been? Probably doing hoe things, because there you hoe again.
So, happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy Black History Month.
Oh, it is
February.
Look at God. It's Black History Month. Hey, I love this for us.
I don't know if it's being celebrated, but I'm celebrating it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, is it still like a thing we celebrate now?
Yeah, like, didn't they turn that off like 2 days ago?
I don't know. I've just been walking around like waiting to exhale, with the fire behind her. I've been walking everywhere like that, just like I'm a DEI and I'm here.
I love this for us. I love it. This is dope. But yeah, again, sorry that we're late, but we're really happy we were finally able to get you here. This is crazy. You're like a unicorn.
I know I just have severe ADHD and I'd rather be making art and shit.
Oh, okay.
Or hanging out with my boyfriend or like doing homework. Like, I don't know what I do.
Okay, she said I'd literally rather be doing anything else.
No, you can ask my best friends. It's this bad. They'll be like, Annie, you want to come to Ben's birthday party tonight? I'm like, I can't move. I think I'm stuck.
Relatable, 100% relatable.
It's our whole household.
That, oh my gosh.
Right, and then you got my dog behind me, Zeus.
What up, Big Z?
Zeus, look up, buddy.
He is a big joker.
He's 110 pounds of my former protector.
Yeah. How's he doing, by the way? If you don't mind me asking.
So I don't know. Maybe I won't share that. So I found out on Wednesday he has cancer. So he has, of course, leave it to me to have the most rare dog ever. He has an ear cancer it's aggressive. It requires ear canal to be removed. So I have a meeting with an oncologist at MedBed on Monday and on the 19th with a second oncologist. So this is my child, and I will treat this as such. Gotcha. But he's still playful. We walked a mile and a half this morning. So I'm like, I know it's real, but like it's not real yet.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. To me, dogs are kind of like, I love dogs. First of all, we have a dog. We have a small dog. But yeah, I feel like they won't tell you all the time that they don't feel great. Like, no. You won't find out till you take them to the vet, and the vet will be like, oh, yeah, your dog's teeth are rotting out of their head, and they're in severe pain. You're like, but she's so fun.
What?
Right? So for some fun data I'm obsessed with data. Like, I just love, it's like my brain works to have argument points for people. Like, that's just the way it works. And pit bulls, because that they don't feel pain, or they are able to, not they don't feel pain, they're able to ignore their pain. People think they're more vicious than they actually are, but they're just like, nah, this pain doesn't exist.
Oh.
So a lot of people think that they have a really high tolerance, but that's not true.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I love to dispel myths with data.
Oh, well then, perfect. I'm looking forward to this conversation for sure. All right. Well, I guess we should jump into it because I could have small talk all day about dogs and everything else. But anyways, so do you know what's about to happen before we actually ask you really cool questions about stuff people actually care about?
I think there's like this music, R&B or something.
Yeah. You ready?
I read the first 4 lines of the email.
Oh, well, that works.
That's perfect. I mean, do you have speech? Get Speechify. Do you have Speechify?
Oh, I have it. Snoop Dogg is right now reading me my big data book.
Yo, see,
y'all are definitely.
Come on.
You have to read a story to me. It's the only way I learn. So Snoop Dogg is like, and then that did this. Can you believe that?
Wow.
See, I'm the same way whenever I'm reading work documentation, especially. I'm like, Snoop Dogg, go ahead and read that thing for me. Oh, I love it. This
Yeah,
thing's
and
great.
then I play a game on my phone while I listen to Snoop Dogg, and that's the only way I can learn.
See, you know what? We're here. It's fine. We're here. This is crazy. But all right, yes. So we're going to be playing That's My Jam 90s R&B edition. I hate that.
Song.
I officially hate that.
That
Anyway.
is not an R&B song.
At all. Period. I used to love it, but now I hate it because we do it in the middle of the episode. But anyways, all right. So here are the rules. We're gonna play 4 covers of different R&B songs. You have until the end of the song to guess either the name of the song or the name of the artist. If you guess both, it's a flex. Points are still the same. Are you ready?
Duh.
All right. Let's get into it. Anthony, song number 1, please.
In this time of fear, When prayer so often proves in vain, hope seemed like the summer bird too
Mountains.
swiftly
Wait, hold
flown
on.
away.
But hold on, keep going.
And now
Keep-
I'm
I need to get the
standing
chorus.
here, my heart's so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never
And Mariah Carey does
thought
Moving
I'd
Mountains, but this isn't her,
say.
like not original, is it?
So this is Mariah
Oh,
Carey.
miracles. I believe in miracles. It's like it's
She's on the right track.
Hold on a second. There can be miracles if you believe. When you believe, somehow you will.
Yeah. You got the point. You got it.
Right? I'm telling you, I got kicked out of chorus as a kid. They gave me a tambourine, and I've been shaking it ever since. So you know that is my. I just copy Elf. I only have that one note. That's it.
Oh man.
Miracles, something.
Yeah. That was it.
That's the effed up part about having like a learning disability, right? I could sing you the whole song, then you'll be like, "What's it called?" And I'm gonna be like, "Who cares?"
That part, it's good. Who cares? It's a good
Okay.
song. All right, song number 2.
That's fun.
Maria, Maria, she remind me of a West Side Story. Growing up in Spanish Harlem, she living the life just like a movie star. Oh, Maria,
Maria by one, but hold on, get out of play because I forget the person.
Love in East LA.
Starts with an S.
To the sounds of the guitar, yeah.
Right, like Carlos Santana.
Hey, let's go. She in the pocket. All
I
right.
love music. I just can't sing it, but I love
That's
it.
fair. That's dope. All right, song number 3. We on a roll.
If tomorrow is Judgment Day,
Mommy.
and I'm standing on the front line, and the Lord asks me what I did with my life, I will say I spent it with you. If I wake up in World War III, I see destruction and poverty.
I know. I just got to hear more because I forget the. But I got it.
And I feel like I wanna go home. It's okay if you're coming with me. Your love is my love, and my love is your love.
Hey, let's go.
Hold on. Whitney Houston. I don't want to say it's just your love.
I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember the name of the song.
I like your love, my love is your love.
Yeah, yep. You got it. You in there. 3? Okay, 3 for 3. Let's see if you got 4 in you. All right, last one. Song number 4.
Zeus is gonna get it.
Almost made you love me.
Hey.
Almost made you cry. Almost made you happy, babe. Didn't I? You almost had me thinking you were turned around.
I knew she was about to do this.
But everybody knows almost doesn't count. Almost heard you saying you were finally free. What was always missing for you, babe? You found it in me.
Okay.
You
Obviously,
can't get to heaven.
almost doesn't count. But hold on, give me a second for no. Keep going because the person's voice is like in my head, but I can't like say.
I already
the
stopped it. I would have to start over.
Start over.
You got it though. That was the name of the song.
She wants to know.
Almost doesn't count.
She wants
Yeah,
to figure out
but
the
it's
singer.
like it was like, but in my head it was like. I was like Faith Hill, or not Faith Evans. I was just like Mary J. Blige. It's like somewhere in there, in that. I know that's not it, but let me get there.
I can play it again here.
Do it. Please.
Almost made you love me. Almost made you cry. Almost made you happy, babe. Didn't I? You almost had me thinking you were turned around.
I'm thinking of the
But
music.
everybody knows almost doesn't count.
Monica? Brandy. No.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brandy.
Brandy.
Let's go. Let's go. You're
Finally
competitive.
something I can compete in that doesn't involve being physical.
I was gonna say
I'm
you're
impressed.
competitive. You're competitive.
Only
I
with my brain, like not with my body. I'll drop stuff.
right. 4 out of 4. I dig it. I
I'm
think
impressed.
is that the first one this season?
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations on first. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the reason people actually come here. I am Jordyn, aka Jay, aka the chosen one, and I'm here with my co-host.
I am Tiffany B. And as always, we're excited that you're here for an episode of the Stats on Stats podcast, where we get to talk to leaders in the cyber, IT, technology spaces. Speaking of those leaders, we have someone here with us today. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, who she is, where she's from, what she does, and how long she has been in this space.
Oh, these are.
Take it away.
Oh, I should answer that.
Yeah.
So, I'm working on a title for myself. I call myself like a, creative technologist. Actually, on Instagram, I just changed it to scientist because you get more respect, I feel like, especially as a woman of color. So it just says scientist now, but it's like a creative technologist. I'm an artist, I research, and I'm a college professor as an adjunct, although I'm interviewing to be part-time. So I teach architecture at Miami University. I'm getting my doctorate right now in architecture and AI from Florida International University with a focus on disrupting education with artificial intelligence. My master's is in visual effects, so think CGI, like animation and coding, kind of like, just phys effects from Savannah College of Art and Design, and then my undergraduate's in architecture, originally from Miami.
Cool. Are you in Miami now?
No, I'm in Ohio. I teach physically at Miami, Oxford, an hour away, and then I go down like once or twice a semester to FIU to present like my research for that semester.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but I did used to live in Atlanta, so I love it down there.
Yeah, right on. You're cold right now.
I'm from here, but I don't like to admit that.
Oh, okay. All right. I too am a fellow Midwestern.
Yeah.
So I dig it. Yeah, cool. Okay. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, what led you to FIU?
It was the only place I could go to school and still work. Mostly. I mean, part of it was I was torn between, I really wanted to do computer science. I don't feel confident enough saying like I'm a computer scientist. That's probably equal parts imposter syndrome. And then also I don't have a computer science degree. I just figure out software. Like I would figure out the native code for like Maya, the Mel script, and just figure out how to do things on my own just by tinkering. But I don't know, like, I can't like write you some Java. I can't like, say, oh, this is C++, I'm going to convert this to that. So that's always like been intimidating for me. But art was just my first love, like sculpture. That's how I got into architecture and 3D. I really just wanted to make clay, sit around and hang out. My mom was like, you have to get a job. I was like, okay. So I tried business and was like, I thought I was bad at math because I was creative. But I wasn't, but hang tight, that gets better. So they're like, you can go into architecture, you can teach kids. Those are the two ways you get jobs being creative. And I was like, I don't even like kids. I like some kids now, like some of my friends' children, but some. But so then I just realized that architecture is just sculpture but big. It's just the way you experience things. And so I started they gave us Photoshop in maybe 2005, 6 maybe. And that was like game over. I was sitting in my dorm, or my apartment or whatever, photoshopping my head onto Victoria Beckham and Halle Berry's body. I was like, I am going to visually, and I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out. So I've just always been that person. Like I always tell my students, like, I'm not that smart, probably. Like, I can speak well, but I explore. I just go where other people won't. People like, I hate my computer, I'm walking away. I'm like, I'm going to sit with it for 4.5 more hours until my foot falls asleep and just what all of the different ways that this could go right or wrong are. And so because I always wanted to be better at other people than software, but I don't read the documentation. So I just like YouTube and ask questions, and that's just kind of it. So I think just a way to express myself that's mobile. I moved a lot as a kid. So I think I always had a fear of having like, can't take art supplies with me, but my laptop can go wherever I go, you know? So it's a mix of mobility and creativity, I think. And then just like, I mean, exploring tech, I feel drawn to it.
Was anybody close to you kind of creative, or did you see anybody doing sculpting?
My mom was a middle school art teacher for 30 years, but I took some art classes. No, I've always just been like that person.
I know that that's like a big part of your research. So what drew you to just text to image generation in general, and then what kind of drew you to that research? Do you mind describing that research, by the way?
Yeah. What drew me initially to text to image is, it's funny, you know, you see a lot on Instagram, you'll see like a lot of photographers that dabble in AI, and their shit is so good because it's an extremely like deep understanding of visual arts. That is why I'm able to produce what I'm able to produce, right? You know, so from studying vis effects, like we had to, you know, look at lighting and green screen and compositing and see if this lighting doesn't hit that shoulder and match this person, and you put it together in the computer, you know, the people are going to know that it's not real or something's off. So I think like a lot of people make stuff like they just want to see what comes out. And I'm like, no, I know exactly what I want. And I shop like this too. Everything is like this. It's like, no, I said I wanted that. And they're like, Annie, that doesn't exist yet. And I'm like, yes, it does. So, and so for me, it was, I used to be like a Photoshop artist. Like if you scroll way, way, way down my page, like you'll see like stuff with me, like photoshopping my dog and the size of like a city, like stuff like that. So I was always looking for a way to go faster though, because some of those people that got famous on Instagram, like Ted Chin, who did the Photoshop splash screen, you know, they did all the shortcuts, but I love the process. I like going slowly. And so this was just a way for me to speed up my process and express myself more quickly. And so then getting into, and I feel like I kind of did the NFT thing. So people always like expect me to be on the forefront of something. So I helped curate the first digital art gallery in Cincinnati called Unfit. That was super fun. And then NFTs aren't really a thing anymore. So fast forward to why I do this. I research what I research. So my research isn't actually what my doctorate is going to be in. My doctorate is in information and education. But I constantly research what does, you know, Midjourney, or what does dall-e, what does Korea, what do they think of us? You know, because I don't even know how to define, I feel like, myself. You know, people ask me like, ooh, do you identify with your black side or your white side? I'll be like, Drake.
Drake.
Like, how would I do that? Like, I don't know. So I'll never be enough of the either. So it's just like, except for this mini fro. But, you know, so it was a way to, it says that is, you know, the data is open source. It's what people think on the internet. And I was like, I cannot wait to see what people think of women of color, you know? And so I started doing a lot of tests. And then some of my earlier tests, I think I really pushed the boundaries. I tried to make a white LeBron James. I tried to make a black Taylor Swift. Just seeing like, what does that look like? Which features, how do you determine which are the black features and which are the white features? Because a lot of times when I would type in the words beautiful versus just biracial woman or beautiful biracial woman, the features would be more white, right?
Yep.
And so I was like, so are you inherently saying that the closer my complex, you know, like, and it's gotten so much better. But I know it's still like, I mean, I have this, can I say this on this podcast? Yeah, I'm going to say this. You can edit it out if you want. So I have a special folder on my computer that I save of every time I get a nipple in like any kind of generative art, because guess what I don't get of dudes? They're never shirtless. They're out. Like the woman, it's like if I say anything about like a dress, not even like sexy, just like a dress or her arm is showing, lo and behold, a nipple will be in one of the shots, you know, and it says to report that, but I don't, because I'm just like, no, I want to see. I really want to see like how cool it is just to show women's like breasts, like stuff like that. So I have that folder and I'm ready to show Midjourney someday. But yeah, I just looking for like loopholes, you know?
Let's go back a little bit, because Tiffany and I, like when I was going through your website and kind of reading a little bit about your research and some of your prompts, something that really stuck out to me, and it kind of ties into what's going on like right now, is this aspect of lighter skin being beautiful, right? That's definitely, I mean, that's textbook definition of colorism. And so as your research, and we're going to talk more about it, but like as your research goes on to discuss, it's like, what are ways we can alleviate these things? What are ways that we can kind of improve these prompts and the results that we get? But as we're talking about, like the government talking about, oh, like DEI is not necessary. Like, let's stop talking about racism. Let's stop talking about Black history. We're all one people. Like, how do you essentially ever get to a point where you're addressing these biases if you're getting to a point where you want to pretend they don't exist at all?
Well,
you know what I mean?
As I've learned with students that like, I can't say like really politically incorrect things to them, I'll get fired, right? They're college, I can cuss, but like I can't, you know? So I just ask them questions that are, it's a little bit manipulative, I guess, but I think all questions, you're looking to get something out. I ask them questions that they can't, or I actually engage a lot in Instagram comments to get people to say provocative things, which is how I've started to get like a following even. I'll say things, somebody will be like, well, DEI is only there because, you know, they just weren't as smart or something like that. And I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, DEI is there because humans in this country used to own other humans, and then that generational trauma and its residual effects still affect us today. And so I know that by how uncomfortable these conversations are for other people, that it needs to be talked about. Because the crazy thing is, you're like, what do you say when you don't think anybody's watching? Like, that's the kind of stuff, that's the data that's in there, you know, in what's giving us images. And how can you say those people that are saying everything's equal and we're good, how can, you know, like I can't educate them, and I've learned I can't attack people. Like, they may suck, they may be dumb, but I cannot go there. I really have to ask them questions that make them think. Like, I'm grateful. I used to work at Turner Construction, and during Black Lives Matter, there's an older gentleman that said, I think all those protesters should jump in the river, right? And me and a few other women were like, you know, uncomfortable. So we had these videos that they had us watch, and this one was I don't like church, but it was a religious video. But they had put all these kids on a line, and they had each step forward if you have one parent or two parents. Step forward if you never had food insecurity. Step forward if you knew where you're going to live every night. Step forward if violence wasn't in your home, right? And so you get this staggering effect where literally all of the kids in the front were white. There were a couple towards the back, but the whole backside was black. It was Black, Latino, and it was like, this is where you're starting in life. This is your launch pad. What are the chances of you being successful? So, and when you look at that, how marriage, you know, was discouraged amongst Black people, well, slaves, they didn't want them to get attached. And then even after that, the way that Black men were incarcerated, you know, you can't erase the way our minds have been trained to work for hundreds of years, thousands, instinctually. So my point is to just talk about these things to help people understand that people aren't that much different. It's the information and the storytelling, like the Bible, I won't get into that, that's being passed down incorrectly. It's dated. It's data that isn't working for us anymore, in my opinion. Right now I'm reading Yuval Harari's book, Nexus, and it talks about how storytelling, he wrote the book Sapiens, incredible author, and he's talking about right now in the first information system being storytelling. Data network is storytelling. Second data network is books. But what do you have when you have a bunch of people that want to be in control of those books? You have a lot of men, white men, that that say the books are immutable, right? And so now we learn that democracies and things like that, like, we have to be able to say there's fault. We have to say that there's change so we can trust it, right? But when you have a book like that that's perfect, it did no wrong, it can do no wrong, then you really mess with people's psyche about feeling inferior. And I have a really big problem with that. So.
Yeah. That just Anthony's over there like, man, we're over here shook. I'm sorry. Whenever people make like really solid points and we're just like, oh, that was introspective. Like,
oh, girl. I many. Okay, here's like two more. Here's
Bring
Okay.
it.
So, people have near God experience, near like God, they have God experiences, and when near death experiences, you're like, I saw the light, I saw it. You can't take that away from me. So those people who say that. So there are a couple things. One, you only see things you already know and wish to see. So a lot of that, people have been told, you go to heaven when you die. You go to heaven, don't worry, we go to church. So you're seeing what you want to see, and two, when you're deprived of oxygen, which is happens a lot in near-death experiences, you hallucinate.
Yes, I love it here today.
I love this.
Right?
I'm just like, I get exhausted by this shit. I'm like, your argument just sucks, person, you know? And so but I actually make a lot of friends this way. Like, people are like, you know what? I hated you, and now I can't even hate you that much because you care so hard about, like, the truth, which is still a man-made construct. We'll get into that later. You know, to me, it's not the truth that matters. It's the connection and representing that. I hate this word, authentically. You know, it's representing how we connect to each other, which is far simpler than the truth.
I'm at a point now where I feel like she's too cool to be here. Like, what are we doing right now?
She
You're
got her
hanging out
own
with me and my
podcast.
dog. So yeah, so that's the kind of shit I read about for my research, because I have a problem with education. Education just, like, it doesn't work anymore. I can't even get good information on education because the old shit's too old. Because, you know, AI, like, something will come out like in 3 days. Like, at first I was going to do technology with my doctorate, and then I was like, I'm not at Harvard. I don't work at Google. Like, I'm not going to come up with a thing that's going to sell. But what I can do is contribute to the human part. And that is the experience we have during education. So I am trying to redefine the experience of education in the world of AI.
I like that.
Redefine the experience of education in the world
Right.
of AI.
What parts need humans? What parts don't? And a lot of people are like, no, you're threatening my job. And I'm like, yeah, I'm saying, like, let's go back to the you know, let's take a step backward. We're going to get our feelings hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. But, like, where do I need to be? Where do I not need to be?
What are your, I guess, recommendations, or what are your thoughts about how we break some of these cycles of discrimination in AI?
So, thank goodness, certain generations will continue to die out. Some of it is just so ingrained, and people refuse to go to therapy, and they refuse new information. You know, it's like my therapist said with the guy that said he wanted to be single for forever, but kept talking to me. You know, it's like they might say that they want something, but no matter what, good change or bad change, they don't want any change. So, I actually think, and I almost started writing about this for my doctorate. I was going to do film's influence on reality, because a lot of movies, I feel like people can buy into that. Like, what was was it The Blind Side? Was that the guy, the football player?
Yep.
Right. Sorry, my dad played in the NFL, so I don't really like athletes.
Oh, like period.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, I'm just like, whatever. Bias. I know you. I don't need to know anything about it. But so yeah. Wait, where was I going after that? Oh yeah. So I feel like movies are how culture, like, gets desensitized to things, because it gives us a place. And that's originally why I was studying. I think you saw on Instagram, maybe I was studying more gamification with AI a couple months ago, because there needs to be a place where we feel safe to learn new things, right? And it can't be the place that says, your granddaddy whipped my granddaddy and I hate you. You know, like, that's not it. So how do you show, and people are afraid to mess up, you know, like I'm not going to speak for y'all, but I am kind of, you know, we've had that experience where we walk into a bar and it's all white or it's all black. And it's like, you know, and like we did a party like 3 years ago, and this very distinguished, beautiful, fancy white couple, you know, walks into, it's like me and my friends who are like rappers, and maybe like 80 black people and 2 white people and a mixed kid. And so, you know, they look like this, and they're like shaking, and my friend HD was like, no, you're welcome. And they turned around and booked it, you know? And so then there was a younger couple that did the same thing, but they stayed. And so for me, it's that ability to stay when it's uncomfortable, to stay when you don't want to be there, because it's always going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult if you don't learn. It's going to be difficult if you do learn. But like, it's just like a marriage. I think I'm not married, but choose your difficult. You just got to pick which one you want.
That's fair. So I have a question about your actual observations. So when you're doing these text to image prompts, like what are some really glaring observations? I know you mentioned women and their nipples,
Ooh,
but yes, okay.
People of color primarily get tattoos. Even if I don't know. Well, Jordyn, maybe you can speak to this, because like I'm not like fully like IT, but like I don't negative prompt things. I have this weird thing in my head where I feel like just even putting the word in there is like too close. I feel like it's gonna like get an idea. I don't even know if it's a negative prompt. So I won't negative prompt anything. I just won't even say it. It's like telling a kid, definitely don't push this button. Like, and somebody's gonna definitely prove me wrong, but that's okay. I'm here to learn. So I noticed that people of color get tattoos, especially so for women, it's the difference between describing her as beautiful versus, not. It's the environment that I describe them in that says whether they get tattoos. LeBron James, I had to Google him to see if he doesn't have any neck tattoos. And like Mid-Journey a year ago was like giving him like, like it was just like, he just looked like, fierce. And I was like, am I thinking of like DMX or LeBron? And I was like, I got online and looked, but it was like any reference person I gave of a strong black man, with a strong beard or a muscular, it just was like, next it was like tattoos. Y'all, all of y'all, if you got a little bit of melanin like I have, you get tattoos. So to me, that was interesting. There's a study that I want to say Bloomberg did where they gave, they gave it to a focus group, but they also gave it to the AI, and they said, pick which ones are criminals. And they gave people, everyone's wearing an orange shirt. Might have been a jail shirt, might not have been. So on the color spectrum of 1 to 7, like 1 being like your see-through white friend, and like 7 being like, you are from somewhere in Africa that I will never go, right? So you got like those, and then like everyone's in between. I'm probably like a 3, I don't know. It said which of these people are inmates or incarcerated. And I believe it was 5, or no, it was maybe 4 to 6. So the second half, not the super dark ones, the Africans, because they're just African, right? But the people right underneath them, the African Americans, those are just incarcerated. And it was like everybody in an orange shirt, and that's not true, right? So that's our perception, is if I see somebody in an orange shirt and their skin shade is any darker than, say Jordyn, they're up to something. And so when you get that kind of data, those are the kind of questions that I ask. And I encourage all of your listeners to listen to books like Weapons of Math Destruction to learn how data can work against us, like credit checks and area codes and all those kind of things. Data and Feminism is a really good book to talk about how women and people of color can be marginalized through data. And then Word Slut by Amanda, I think, Montell. It talks about the English language as an etymology to describe women, and how there are more negative ways to describe women than men.
That was a good list.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. At this point, I'm just intimidated, so I'm going to just be quiet.
Really? He was so cool. I'll put that Groove Theory song on, and you're like, yeah.
I get this one. At this point, let me go read my questions, because what you not going to do?
I do have a question from something you said earlier. You were saying...
I'm going to hide Jordyn's face, because right now Jordyn's face is hiding over your face. But I want to see you. Okay.
Earlier you said that you like to ask questions of your students, kind of, I guess, to get them thinking about these topics. What are some of like your favorite questions, and then your responses from your students that kind of like took you back a little?
Ooh, here's a good one. Okay. Yeah. So this is first year studio, and we're doing the Pueblos in, this is me being geographically challenged, maybe Arizona, maybe New Mexico. I don't know. They are Pueblos. So they are indigenous people that used to live in them, right? And we were supposed to just study the architecture, but a couple people wanted to put artifacts in there, and then they put like some weird rings and some things like that. And I was like, okay, I just have a question for y'all. So let's say we're like the people of Pompeii, we get volcanoed over, and kids 3,000 years later come in and say, I'm going to define how I remember these people, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered that you know all the cool music, or do you want to be remembered that you were that skinny white boy with the pigeon-footed feet? Like how you're describing somebody. Like I just asked them, I'm like, and that's not like a knock on anybody. I'm just asking you, if somebody were to describe you in 1,000 years, how do you want to be remembered? And then like the stuff that they're saying about like they ate rats and blah, 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 blah. They're like, yeah, maybe that's not it. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not it. Or like I'll ask them, when countries get ahead, so monuments and things like that, I'm like, what's always necessary? And they'll be like, I don't know. I'll be like, free labor of some sort. It's happened at some point. When have we had free labor in our country? And then I just wait. I don't have to say anything else. I'll just go get my energy drink.
Well, in a couple years, free labor never happened.
This is why I'm so big about having these conversations. I think you saw my close friends. I got into it with somebody about like DEI,
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, about the opportunity part. And I was just kind of like I get, and I feel like I get to do it too. I get to have it for the first time ever. Being Drake is an advantage for me because I am light enough in color and theory that I can say some of the uncomfortable things, and people not, and some white people feel comfortable, but it's still coming from a place of watching my dad get stopped by who is like, I don't know what happened to me. My dad is like black. He's dark, and he would get stopped just riding around in my neighborhood when he's married to my mom, So like, and people asking, what's that scary stuff he's listening to, and him scrubbing my knees because he was like, they can't be ashy. People make fun of you, like to the point where they were like red, and me being like, Dad, it's okay. And he's like, no, you can't ever be ashy, like those memories. And then going to like Black family reunions. So like those memories are still something that people can't, take away from me. I feel like I just have this really oddly, as Jordyn said, unicorn place to speak to some things that should be stood up for.
You do. What's so funny to me is like your tone is always very just like casual, almost neutral, just conversational. So whenever I see like some of the comments you leave, I'm like, the way you roast people and like it's like I can hear your voice as you're doing it. It's like you're incredibly stupid, but also have a great day. Like.
No, one of my favorite. Okay, so my favorite one. This one got like 20,000 likes or something. And it's not the number. It's the people's responses that I did. So they put two. So they put the thing that what NVIDIA that because of DeepSeek had dropped like the market. I mean, I don't know how much NVIDIA lost. It's fake money. It's real money. Who knows? It's all their money. None of it's mine. So they posted how much it lost, and I said, "Is this a bad time to ask about eggs?" People were just putting skulls. That's all they were doing. Dying. And then a couple of maggots, MAGA people, they got in and they were like, it's the bird flu. And so I would just write underneath that and be like, hey, I have another question for you. Why does my question bother you so much? Hey, you need to go to therapy. You should be grateful for your triggers because they tell you where you're not free. So, other one, and I do this a lot with like racial stuff. So I can't give all my credit to myself. Well, I do read a lot, but I have this community inclusion citizenship manager when I worked in construction. And this was a tiny little, she's definitely black, but she's like light. Okay. Like ginger black people,
Yes.
But she's like a lot of freckles. Like
yep.
She had just the most eloquent way of responding to people. And I would just get pissed and flick them off and walk away. Right. So I would just start to listen. I would just watch her. I would watch how she responded, and I'd be like, damn, that I really started reading about like redlining. I really started reading about GI Bill. I wanted to know more because I've always just felt this imposter syndrome, like I'm not good enough. And so I decided to find the answers, that for the reasons that I would perceive myself as not good enough. Okay, but going back to Instagram, hold on, one more comment. That was good. So they posted a picture. Remember those like pink, I forget what car, they were electric cars. The Jaguar posted like the pink Jaguars, or something.
I don't know.
Their new electric cars or something.
Nah.
Okay, well, Cole, the digital artist, he put like a pink car next to a black car, and he put the pink car, Drake was standing there, and he put Kendrick next to the black car, and he said, caption this, and I put Barbie versus Oppenheimer, and people
Oh, yeah. That was a good one, though. But then like if you go down, probably like I went through all the comments for this, which is really sad. But like if you go all the way down, there were like 10 people who copied you.
Yeah, and that's fine. They can have it because
Right.
just like Kim Kardashian said, you can use my recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same.
Yo, bruh, we need to make t-shirts, a t-shirt line dedicated to the one-liners in this episode.
Oh, good.
Yeah, okay, so I have a question actually specifically related to your research that I really, really wanted to ask you.
Get in there.
All right, cool. Man, look at me. I just genuinely lost it that quickly.
So like personal, like.
Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm going to read it right off so I don't get it wrong. But it says, in your work, you describe AI discrimination as ingrained and automatic. What are some strategies you recommend to break the cycle of perpetuating human biases in machine learning?
Oh, so this one's a big deal. And so I'll use weapons of math destruction. I'll use an example from that book because I know it's true. So when the iPhones first happened, facial recognition, they didn't recognize people. I'm still kind of working on Joy Balamoente's book called Unmasking AI, where she actually worked for the MIT Media Lab and helping some of the facial recognition. So the iPhones weren't recognizing us, right? So I please do not quote me on this number, and nobody will because I rarely speak in absolutes. But whatever, Apple, somebody had to buy like 30,000 driver's license photos from Kenya to have enough data so that the algorithm could see the nuance between a darker complexion to recognize the face, right? And so a lot of people, like, I don't know if you remember ChatGPT, like maybe a year and a half. No, it's only been out since 22. Yeah, like a year ago, like doing like the Black George Washington thing.
No.
Oh, okay. They were asking it, like, what do our founding fathers look like? Like somebody tweaked something in there, and like it was like these like buff African men as like George Washington. So it was like that. You can't give it arbitrary data, and so part of me realized we just have to give it more representation, and then I realized it's not there. Like that. When you look at Black people's stories, documentaries, rap music is literature to me. We should be putting in lyrics to that. Like you'd have to tell people stories, and I don't know where that data comes from, but we need more of it.
Yeah, some way, somehow. So from your perspective, right? Because I mean, anybody putting data into something, to an extent, anytime there's a human involved, there's going to be some type of bias involved, right? Like that's just how things go. Do you think AI is ever going to get to a point where it can identify the human input as bias and correct itself? Yeah, you think so?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I feel like in like maybe 2 to 5 years, it's going to be like, what did you say about that guy? Do you think he's rich and doesn't like you just because he's white, Andy? Do you think that? Like I feel like it's going to be like asking us like triggering, questions. Because did you do the Instagram roasts with ChatGPT? Did you roast yourself?
What?
Oh,
What was that?
yeah. When you're supposed to be like, what are my? Yeah, you do the whole thing. You're like,
roast my Instagram grid, right? So I do it, and the first time it's kind of nice. It's like, oh, you're eclectic. You go all around the world, like blah blah blah. Or I said that was nice. I was like, roast me, and it was like, you think you're a art gallery. I've never seen somebody try so hard to post a variety of like the coolest art they've ever made, and then sexy thirst trap like photos and all the places they've been. So like the fact that it had like that nuance to go there, that was a year ago, and it's moving so fast. Like it definitely. It's not a matter of whether it can. I think it's. I don't know if you saw Westworld when you like the host settings, and they're like bring that down to like. Timidness, turn that up. Like I feel like they're just like not letting us see those buttons yet.
yeah, no, I did the prompt one when it was like based on all of my prompts or whatever. What are my strengths or what are my weaknesses, and basically it told me exactly what I already knew about myself. So that was fine. Mine said that I don't commit to any specific thing. I essentially am all over the place, and yeah.
You tell it, that's my MF, that's my learning disability. You don't know me.
Yeah, it was basically just like, I mean, you like to do a lot of stuff. You're not good at anything. And I was like, oh, thank you. Merry Christmas. So, but yeah.
I'm like, you interrupt people. Thanks.
Yeah.
So when you think about, I guess, I'll say, when you think about your legacy, right? What you want to leave behind, especially with like all of the research you're doing for AI and culture, what do you hope people, I guess, remember you for in your future?
I hope that people will, because we kind of talked about like how things will get better, and things are better than they were in the 1920s now. I hope that people will remember me as just like a curious person of like change, that just like wasn't afraid to have the conversations that kind of maybe got us to where we are when we're there later. Like, why do I have to be wearing gold chains in that picture? Why does LeBron have those tattoos? Like, I just want to be remembered as somebody who didn't agree with the information that was handed to them and asked questions. And as the best dog mom ever.
All right. So, as you look ahead, see, I'm like, we gonna hit some of these. So, as you look ahead, what are some emerging technologies or methods that excite you for the future research on ethical generative art and AI bias?
So, as far as the ethics, I don't know. I think our comments, just even on social media, are telling enough. And I'm always wondering, like, how these elections and kind of things, because did the plane crash with all white pilots, right? That crash because of DEI. So I'm just wondering about how AI interprets, these moments of, like, because clearly it's a lie, but is it telling us, does it have enough matrices below to say that it's not only it's a lie, but it's happening because this person wants to polarize people,
Ooh.
And so at first I was like, oh, it's data, it's just data, it's like shopping histories and blah 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 blah, but I just think it's like, that kid like keep talking and he gets himself in trouble. Like, I think if we just continue to speak and write and type, that's all we have to do. Although I have read like things about like how like we're running out of like organic data, but like there's different ways that you can, like, Jordyn, this is like you. I feel like there's different ways you can extract data from organic or inorganic or algorithmic data. I just think if you give it more time, it's like having a student that doesn't sleep and just wants to learn more. Oh,
Yeah. You just said a lot, though, that actually has me thinking and a little bit frightened now. I'm a little scared now.
I mean, I'm always a little scared, but I don't know. It's even like our current president. I'm like, you can do a lot, but if everyone hates you, I don't know how much. You know what I mean? Like, we hate you, but.
Hey, look. I have a security clearance, so honestly, I am neutral. I have no feelings at all.
I don't have a security clearance. I have a weird tattoo that would make me recognizable everywhere.
Wait, what is it? Is it just a line?
It goes all the way down my entire body to my pinky toe.
Why?
I fell off of a building in 2021 and broke 7 bones and collapsed a lung and didn't know if I would walk again. And so it was.
What?
I was in a wheelchair in summer 2021.
Wait, you fell off a building?
Through the fire escape right outside my window. Yeah, I fell on my back onto the sidewalk from like a story and a half up. And so, I didn't think anything was broken because I used to be in gymnastics. And so I was like, I got this. Like, get up.
Thought you flipped down? Or?
No, I just fell. Like, literally there's a hole where the ladder would drop down and I just fell. It's like the width of me. And then my nails were all broken because I tried to like stop myself. And just fell on my back, went in the ambulance during COVID. And so I always wanted to be tatted from head to toe. Now I am. And so it's about 3 things: that, and then intentionality and design and everything that I do. I have like a smaller tattoo on my side, but I was always afraid to like show it, because I want to get a job. But now it's like, it's the best conversation starter ever, because I'll just be sitting there, and somebody will be like, is that from surgery? Did your kid draw on you? What happened? And I think it just like goes along with my brand even better of just ask some uncomfortable questions.
I genuinely thought you just took a pen and drew on yourself, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I was never. Wow. Okay, so we have one more question we have to get to before we wrap it up. All right, so finally, Can you share any advice for fellow researchers and students who are drawn to this intersection of art, technology, and social justice, and who might be seeking PhD programs with a similar focus?
Okay, yes, because my mentor gave me these. So I thought I was just going to apply to every program, and I wish, this is so important. I cannot tell you all how important this is, because I had this, and I can say he's a minority, an Indian guy, he's my mentor at Miami, and he was literally like, nobody tells us this information, right? Because we don't have these like secrets how to get ahead, being passed. So it's not about the application. The application should be the last thing you do. It's about finding a professor or a mentor or somebody at that university already that you can study beneath, that you'll match their research, and you can bring something to the table, right? So you want to start to reach out, look at what professors are there, find out what they're researching. Some of them will be really nasty. Like this guy from Columbia was like, it's listed on the website. I was like, but some people will, engage with you, and those are your people. So I literally found the program, and I talked to him about the application. Was just like it was a formality, but you have to make sure that you have a purpose there that benefits them. It's like when your boss needs help, you don't go in there and be like, hey, my boss, can you do something for me? It's like, no, how can I help you make your life easier? And so that's how I approached it. I would say for people that are kind of like me, that are in between tech and art, maybe a little more science, there's so many, they all have weird titles now. There's so many programs that are more interdisciplinary, whether that be, I don't even know what they call them, interactive media. That was back in my day, but they call them so many different things. Like, just try to find a program where, it's finding the right program and finding the right person.
What would you recommend people do at home? Like, if, say, my nephew was like, okay, I want to be able to start creating these images, like, what would you recommend people do, or something that helped you along the way to get to where you are?
Okay, so I think the reason why I am decent at communicating, writing, that's my biggest strength with prompts. I think asking kids how to describe stuff, like, I will never let my students say that's cool. Like, I'll be like, that's fine. Why? Like, the ability to describe what's around you is what makes a prompt engineer successful, because they can find all of the words to put down to it. So I would be, if I had a son or a nephew or something that was like really into that, I would watch a movie with them and be like, oh my gosh, why was that scene so cool? Oh, it was cool because the plane did this. Why was that cinematic? Was it apocalyptic? Was it, I would help people get a better vocabulary, and I would just tell them, honestly, like, a lot of it's on YouTube, but I watch a lot of, I go down some YouTube rabbit holes for sure.
I just want to say something real fast. I say that's cool all the time.
I'm not.
I just want to say something because I feel judged. I am very good at articulating. People scare me. Okay, people scare me. So
yeah. So I get so nervous that I don't even listen to people, and I just say, okay, sure, yeah. Okay, sure, yeah, is my thing. And so now when I say that, my friend's like, you didn't just hear what I said. I'm like, you're right, I was not listening.
See.
So we all got. So I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, because I want to look like I care so hard, and I'm not even listening.
But no, people scare me, like, genuinely. I was at a party last week, and people were looking at me, and I said, "Can you please?" I was like, I literally, my exact words were, "I think I'm melting. Can you, like, stop?" Like, I'm really that awkward. So
yeah, I feel
you don't even like me to look at you.
It's true. It's true. Stop looking at me. We're, like, all the way married, right? But, like, we could be married, and you look all the way over there as well. Like, with so
and we're working on that. Right? Because that's how we get to know ourselves better through our partner.
I identified my trigger so that I can be free, okay? I just want to be free.
You have to keep looking at it, though. You don't just get the mic drop and walk away.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Annie, if this even happens, what do you do to kind of disconnect and allow yourself some time to, just be?
I don't.
I said if it happens.
Yeah, so we actually had this debate in my class the other day. Like, there's a woman that's 65, there's a gentleman that's like 40, they're like we have to, like, protect our humanity and the parts of us that are, like, natural, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, and I was like, says who? I was like, I'm in the mix all day. Darth Vader looks at me when I walk into my apartment. I want Botox. I want we call it hyper reality. Essentially, it's like the world that we're in right now. But that's not true. So I do disconnect. When I disconnect through nature, but very specifically because I don't do bug bites or camping, I disconnect through water, scuba diving. I love the ocean. I need it. And then I volunteer also at an animal shelter part-time where I specialize in aggressive breeds. That's good because it helps me not think about myself, number one. And then also I've learned, this is a good advice for the kid person too that wants to learn this stuff. Strengthen your senses. When you strengthen other senses that you're not using for technology, you perceive things differently and you get stronger at it, right? I feel like a lot of even my design work comes from dance. I grew up dancing. And so, even a connection, I'll be like, it would be so much better if it was like, whoosh, like a movement, and I'll refer to that. So, you have to disconnect to reconnect, because if you don't, like, your stuff will just be like.
The more you reveal about yourself, the more we don't know.
Isn't that the best?
That's dope. Oh man, oh my gosh. Okay, so we do have to wrap it up though, because Anthony gives us a side eye. So do you want to?
Anthony.
I have. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to thank you first before I pass it back. Okay, hey girl. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. No, truly, seriously, this conversation has just been so much fun. Like, man, I need it. It was refreshing, especially on a Saturday. So endless gratitude. Thank you for your time. Like truly, can't say it enough. Thank you.
Thank you for not judging me for not showering or washing my hair.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that wasn't a part of the intro. So
the more like, you know what? Go ahead, do your thing, Tiffany.
Okay, bye. Cut this. Cut it. You have to cut it.
We had a great time with you. And also, for everyone else, Annie, are you interested in or willing to share your socials so that people can connect with you?
Instagram is all that matters in life right now. Annie at Annie A. Burke. No, that's my email. Wow. No, just Annie A. Burke is my handle. Like, come on, Spaz. Okay, let's try this again. My Instagram is Annie A. Burke.
All right, awesome. So now that everybody knows how to get in touch with you, we also want to tell everybody thank you for coming to an episode of the Stats on Stats podcast. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Stay wavy. Bye. Love you. Okay, bye.